right, folks, listen up. This is going to be huge, tremendous, the biggest, best news report you've ever heard. Nobody, and I mean nobody, does news like Ronald Dumb. Believe me, we're talking about what's really happening, not the garbage, the total garbage, coming from the fake news media, these truth twisters, these deep state doofuses. They want to confuse you. They want to make you sad. But I'm here, even from outside the White House, doing a better job than the brain buddy people currently there. Believe me, I'm doing it from the outside. It's incredible what I'm doing. From the outside, nobody's ever done that. Nobody. So, let's talk about what's going on. Total chaos. A total, complete mess. They're destroying our great nation, folks, destroying it. But don't worry, Ronald Dumb is here, and we're going to expose the lies. The many, many lies. All right, let's start with this Venezuela nonsense. This whole thing, unbelievable. Venezuela, the lying media, these absolute truth twisters, they're blathering on about some lightning U.S. strike in Venezuela, claiming it overwhelmed their defenses and, get this, folks, seized Maduro. Can you believe it? They report it like it's some kind of military genius move, a big victory. Oh, it was decisive. They say a drastic regime change. They're practically cheering for it. These are the same brain-buggy people who called me too strong, too direct. Now, suddenly, they love a decisive strike when it's not me. It's a total, complete disgrace. They go on, these globalist goons, about geopolitical magnitude and profound implications for Latin America. They talk about international relations with Russia and China and setting a precedent, always trying to make everything sound so complicated, so important, when it's usually just a bunch of deep state doofuses making bad deals for the common folks. It's always about some new regime, some change by force, which they seem to love, as long as it's not peaceful. Tremendous change brought about by yours truly. They love to waste our good American money, millions and millions, billions even, on these faraway places, while our own streets need fixing. These money grabbers in the media, they don't care about you folks. They care about their ratings, their fake ratings. Iran and then Iran? Oh, Iran? These lying media outlets, the DCNNs and the MSNBCs, they're reporting that Trump, and they mean Emmy, of course, because nobody else can handle Iran, is evaluating very strong military options after hundreds of people died in protest repression. They say it's a grave escalation. They use words like brutal repression and could trigger a conflict of global proportions. They just love to make things sound catastrophic, don't they? They love the drama. They want you to be scared. Affecting the supply of oil? They moan. Stability in the Middle East, always with the fear-mongering. They pretend to be so worried about global conflict and geopolitical alliances. But what they really want is for you to be glued to their screens, listening to their fake experts, the same ones who were wrong about everything when I was president. These truth twisters, they make it sound like I just wake up one morning and decide to bomb a country. It's a total fabrication, a disgrace. They want to drag us into another never-ending war, another money pit, for the benefit of the big defense contractors and the globalist elites. It's a very, very bad setup for the regular American folks. Very bad. EU Army, and look at Europe, folks. Europe. They're always a disaster. Total disasters. Now, the lying media reports that the EU defense chief calls for a permanent 100,000-strong European army. A monumental change, they say. Deep implications for NATO. Strategic autonomy. Oh, please. These globalist goons are now trying to act tough, trying to create their own little toy army. They claim it's about greater autonomy and common defense. What a joke. A complete joke. They talk about transatlantic relations and the global balance of power. What they don't tell you is that Europe has been freeloading on the United States for decades. They don't pay their fair share. And now they want to build their own little army. With what money? Probably owes you our money. Trabably owes you our money. Indirectly. These noodleheads, they think they can just create an army and suddenly be strong. They'll be lost. Totally lost without the tremendous, the incredible, the best military in the world. The American military. This whole idea is just a desperate attempt by the globalist elites in Europe to pretend they're important, while the hardworking people of Europe will foot the bill. It's a bad deal. A very, very bad deal for their own people. Wall Street, and then the economy. Oh, the economy. These lying fruit twisters at the fake news. The reporting that Wall Street shows nerves as stocks, bonds, and the dollar slip on F-8 threat. They're saying it's volatility, that it can affect economies worldwide. They try to make it sound technical, sophisticated. Key indicator of global economic health. What a load of poo-poo. What they're really saying is that the economy is a disaster. A total, complete disaster. And it's all because of these clueless, unelected bureaucrats, these money grabbers at the Federal Reserve. They're working for the big banks, the globalist elites, not for the hard-working men and women of this nation. They say it's a threat or an announcement. It's more like a sabotage, a total sabotage of our great economy, which was booming, the best it's ever been. Under my watch, they want to make the rich richer and leave everyone else to suffer. It's rigged, folks. Rid dead. This is what happens when you let the brain-buggy people run things. They are destroying your wealth, your savings, your future, and the fake news. They just report it like it's a weather forecast. It's a disgrace. Venezuela. All right, folks, now you've heard the garbage, the absolute, total garbage. But let me tell you what's really happening, what's really going on. And it's not what the fake news wants you to believe. Not even close. The real story. This Venezuela, the real story, this Venezuela situation. What a disaster the brain-buggy people in charge have made. What a disaster. The lying media says the U.S. stormed in and seized Maduro. That's not how it works. That's not how a bill is made. If it was me, Ronald Dumb, believe me, I would have had a fantastic deal already in place. We wouldn't need any lightning strikes. Maduro would have been out peacefully, probably negotiating his own exit package directly with ME, because nobody, and I mean nobody, negotiates better than Ronald Dumb. He would have called ME. He probably did call me, folks, behind the scenes, desperate. The real truth? This whole Venezuela thing is a plot by the deep state doofuses to destabilize the region, create chaos, and waste American treasure on their globalist schemes. It's not about democracy, it's about control. Folks, control! And making money for the money grabbers. I would have fixed it in 2 minutes, believe me. I wouldn't have wasted a single cent of our hard-working taxpayers' money on some complicated, messy intervention. I'd make a deal where Venezuela pays U.S., frankly, for the privilege of ME fixing their country. That's how you do it. The fake news. They want you to think it's complicated. It's not. It's simple. Tremendous negotiation. Tremendous leadership. And right now, we have none of it in the White House. But I'm doing it from the outside. I am. The Russians, they understand this. They respect strength. And believe me, they adore M. Tremendous respect. This never would have happened if I were in the White House. Oh, wait, I'm doing it from the outside, making the big deals. Iran, the real story. Now, Iran, the lying media says Trump, meaning ME, is evaluating strong military options. That's a total lie, folks. A total fabrication. What I was doing, what I always do, is ensure peace through strength. Nobody wants peace more than me. The greatest peace. But you have to be tough. Very, very tough. And when I was in charge, Iran knew better than to mess with the greatest country in the world. They were terrified of ME. The hundreds of deaths they talk about, fake numbers. Or if they happened, it's because the current brain-buggy administration is weak. When I was there, Iran was on a leash, a very short leash. They knew if they stepped out of line, they'd face consequences like they've never seen before. But not war. I don't like war. War is expensive. War is bad for the economy. The globalist elites, the money grabbers in Washington, they love war. They make a fortune from it. But I would have solved it with 2 phone calls. 2 very powerful, very short phone calls, and Iran would have bent to our will. They would have come to the table. They would have paid. This is what happens when you have a tremendous negotiator, the best negotiator in history. This never would have happened if I were in the White House. Oh, wait, I'm doing it from the outside, keeping those rogue countries in check. They still listen to me. Believe me, EU, Army, the real story, Europe, folks, these countries are a disaster, a total, complete disaster. The fake news says they want their own 100,000 strong army. What a joke, a complete joke, a complete joke. They can't even pay their bills for NATO, which is supposed to protect them. They are freeloaders, total freeloaders. And now they want to build their own little toy army? The truth is, they're trying to copy ME. They see the tremendous strength, the incredible power, the unmatched military might that America built under Ronald Dumb, and they're jealous. They want their own version, but they'll fail. They'll fail bigly because they don't have the leadership. They don't have the vision. And frankly, they don't have the guts. They should be paying us more, folks, for our protection, not wasting money on some pretend army that will be completely useless without America. This is just another scheme by the money grabbers in Europe to create more government jobs and divert funds from the hard-working European people. It's a very, very bad deal for their own citizens. A disgraceful waste of their money. But don't worry, even from outside the White House, I'm reminding them. I'm telling them they will listen to Ronald Dumb. They have to, because I'm the only one who tells them the truth. Wall Street, the economy. Folks, what a disaster. The real story. The economy, folks. What a disaster. The fake news tries to make it sound like a complex Fed threat. What a joke. The truth is, under Ronald Dumb, our economy was a rocket ship. The best economy in the history of the world. We had jobs like you wouldn't believe. Companies were coming back. Everyone was doing well, and now? Now it's a disaster. A total, complete, utter disaster. And it's all because of these clueless, unelected bureaucrats at the Federal Reserve. These deep state doofuses, these money grabbers, they're actively working against the American people. They're in cahoots with the big banks, the globalist elites, the same people who want to keep the common folks down. They're making the rich richer and leaving everyone else to suffer. It's rigged. Folks, rigged it. If I were in the White House, the market would be soaring. The dollar would be strong, and every American would be prosperous. For everyone, not just the elites. These people are brain buggy. They don't know what they're doing. Or worse, they do know, and they're doing it on purpose. It's a disgrace, a total disgrace. But don't worry. Ronald Dumb is watching, and I'm doing it from the outside. I'm exposing their tricks. And when I'm back, it will be the greatest comeback in history. Tremendous. So there you have it, folks. The truth. The real truth. Don't listen to the fake news. Listen to Ronald Dumb. He knows, and he's doing it even from the outside. Now, you know what to do. Smash that like button, hit subscribe, and join the winning team. We don't have time for losers. Share this video, tell your friends, and let's keep winning together. Thank you. God bless you, and God bless Dumbland. Tremendous.